And if anybody actually have questions, we'll have a question. We'll ask some questions to your UNB. So please send us a DM to Nftgo, and then we'll ask the questions to the community. Okay, I think that a lot of people are joining now, so I think we can start. Anyways, before we begin, Yunbi, is it possible to give a little bit of introduction about the project, about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So first off, I just wanted to say, Brian, nice to meet you, and we really appreciate you guys at NFTGo for offering this AMA, which is actually our first English AMA. Believe it or not, but Tokyo Alternative Girls actually does like two Twitter Spaces a day, sometimes on Voicey, the Japanese podcast. So it's quite a special opportunity for us today. But yeah, we're honored to be here, and I'm excited about the partnership as well, and more than happy to share a little bit about myself and Tokyo Alternative Girls.
Wow, thanks a lot. We actually appreciate that you took the offer to be our partners in Japan, and so hopefully this we could actually have a lot of conversations about moving forward, and then share the communities what we're gonna do as together.
Absolutely. I look forward to that. And a little bit later in this call, I want to kind of share one of my favorite features on NFT Go, actually, that, I just love because it's kind of a really unique value for data and analytics that you guys, a feature that you guys offer to everyone. So, yeah, you guys are doing some really cool stuff, and we really appreciate that.
Oh, thanks very a lot. Because it's actually because our finders actually believe that all data should be open to everybody, since the Web3 is like all about open source. So, which is why because we try to offer a lot of data to the community, and I'm glad that you like our platform and services a lot. Thanks a bunch. Well, anyhow, before we begin, is it possible to give a little bit info about what Tokyo Alternative Girls project is about, and a little bit of introduction from your side?
Yeah, sure. I think I'll start with myself a little bit here, and then I'll go into kind of tag from an overview and background, and kind of talk about the founders, are the kind of main people behind it as well, the idea and everything like that. But most people in the space know me as B. I first kind of came across blockchain and crypto since 2018, something around that time, and I actually have worked with quite a handful of Japanese communities in different projects like Zenzo and Monacoin, Mona Party, and just recently here, kind of Crypto Ninja Partners, Tag, and kind of opened up a whole new world for me, which has been super cool, and kind of seeing the immersion. Or the emergence of DAOs in Japan, which is something really cool to me. But yeah, I think I joined this space for a lot of the same reasons, for a lot of people seeing the utility and the problems that blockchain solved, and the ethos of decentralization and transparency, and open source code, art, everything. Kind of the same ideals that you guys have at NFT Go. That, I think, that's fundamentally a lot of us why we joined this space, because we saw problems in the world, and blockchain potentially gave us a solution towards that. Now, just having the technology doesn't necessarily solve all these problems. We as people have to use them in the right way, but that's kind of the gist of it. But yeah, just a little background about me. I guess a lot of people kind of know me as a designer, which I really love design, just bringing ideas to life and taking the concept in the mind and being able to help manifest it, and bring it into the world. So that's one of my favorite things, kind of designing and making art.
Wow, that's actually really amazing. I really do believe, I think that decentralization is very important. I actually joined this space just with the same belief, because there's a lot of problems around the world. And I think that decentralization could solve a lot of things. But even if decentralization could solve it, I think it's like depending on who tries to offer those tools and then how they actually utilize that concept. I think that's another thing that needs to be solved. At least that's from my point of view. But as an artist, I guess that your profile icon is, did you design it yourself?
Yeah, and actually heavily inspired from my first trip to Japan back in 2018, where I was working on an open source gaming blockchain, proof of stake blockchain called Zenzo.
Okay.
And I had actually picked up the kitsune, the fox mask in Kyoto, and something about it just really spoke to me. And then I kind of like looked deeper into some Japanese folklore stories and about Inari and just kind of yeah, foxes and kind of their symbolism and things like that. And I don't know, it's, some things, you don't necessarily have a distinct reason for your attraction to something. You just feel very attracted to it, and for some reason I felt that way, and it's just kind of stuck with me for a while now.
Uh, I think that's the same with me. So as for like the Japanese culture, there's something for me, like for the Japanese culture itself is very interesting for myself. So I think when people get attracted, it's just like naturally get attracted. You don't really have a reason. You just don't know why, but you like doing it, and then you're very interested in it, and you keep digging into it while you get involved, right? I think that's what I feel.
Yeah, exactly. And that's all that matters, follow your heart and follow your feelings. Like if you feel happy to do something, even if you don't have logic to back it, just keep doing it. That's what I believe anyways.
Thanks a lot for that. Thanks a lot for your beliefs and your information. Is it possible to talk a little bit of give an info about like Nanatak-san, who is actually the founder of Tokyo Alternative Girls?
Yeah, let's get into the fun stuff now. So I'll just give a little kind of interesting fact about Tokyo Alternative Girls, and then get into Nantaku here. Legendary figure in the space, and yeah, keep an eye out on this guy and follow him if you haven't already, for sure. But so what is TAG? TAG stands for Tokyo Alternative Girls, and kind of plays on the concept of tag team. Whether it be like wrestling or kind of working together, it's kind of a very playful um, concept, and the project's intended to be for the community and owners of these tag NFTs to be able to work together and collaborate. And this could be in anything. It could be in the forms of creating art, music, or other type of fun activities. But there's kind of multiple meanings and I guess intentions and inspirations behind the name, but that's largely kind of what it stands for, which is something we say a lot, like tag team in the community. But I think most importantly, if I could say, really what tag is and plans to accomplish in this space, is and becoming an NFT passport into the world of entertainment, both in the real world and also in Web3. So a Web3 entertainment company as well, that leverages blockchain technology and NFTs to be able to provide all types of really interesting entertainment experiences, largely with music and also art. So I think a little bit later in the call we'll get into some of the cool things that Tag's working on. But Nantaku himself, so this guy, like I said, definitely want to be following him in the space if you're not already. But a big inspiration to me, besides his actual background, his commitment and passion to what he's building and the entire Web3 space, especially in Japan, to me is just like I said, incredibly inspiring. He's doing about just about two Twitter spaces every day in the morning and night, and just relentless collaborations and working with other projects. But his background itself is actually in the music background and entertainment world in Japan. And he's worked with famous singers like Ken Hirai and manga artist Yazawa. And furthermore, which I think people might be able to relate a little bit more to, most people here in the space know Crypto Ninja Partners. He's actually a part of the parts production team. Yeah, Crypto Ninja Partners, basically Japan's, as far as I know, Japan's largest DAO and blue chip project, led by the famous and legendary Ikehaya.
Oh yeah, that's definitely true. The famous and legendary Ikehaya. Wow. So as I was actually everything that Yurin said is very interesting. As I researched from what I found about Tokyo Alternative Girls tag. Nanatak-san actually hosts Twitter Space 2 times a day, which is very amazing. It's very hard to host two Twitter Space every day because it gets like you have to be really passionate, and then to be passionate enough to keep doing that, and it takes a lot of effort and time. So for my personal belief, I think that's actually really amazing that how the tag Tokyo Alternative Girl team is doing a lot, and Nanataka-san is actually collaborating a lot. And one more to add is that Nanataka-san has ever since we contacted him, he has effortlessly given us a lot of communications and assistance with us. So if you're really interested, please try to follow Narataka-san. You're interested in the insights and what he has, just like Yurin B has said. So and Tokyo Alternative Girls, it's actually really building a lot of different stuffs, and then it's working with a lot of different projects. As I hear, since I might be able to not, 100% deliver everything that the Turkey Art Heavy Girls are doing. I'm going to ask Yurin V-san about like what they're like kind of preparing, what they have done so far. Would that be okay?
Yeah, Brian, do you mind if I just add two quick little things on that note, and then we can go into that?
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, one really unique thing actually about Nanataku is, from my experience, I have never been on a Twitter space before where the host or the founder literally thanks every single listener individually. And I'm not saying it hasn't happened. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but I personally haven't been on a call where the founder and host thanks every single person for joining. And aside from the passion and commitment of what you shared, the respect for the community and for the space is just something that's kind of bonded me to this project, and also working with Nanataku. So just kind of something that I wanted to highlight there as well.
That's actually amazing. It's really hard to thank everybody for joining the Twitter space. So far, I haven't actually met a Twitter space where they thanked every individual person for joining Twitter space. Uh, Actually, one more to ask is that how did you guys meet Nanotech-san and Yurin B? Could you share a little story between how you guys met? I think that might be a little interesting.
Yeah, I think well, I first learned about Tag. I think it was a November 6th, a day after the mint, as I wasn't as kind of connected into a lot of the Japanese projects and things like that. But I first came across it from Fleur Dao, or the Alpha Group. And I basically just got in, joined the community, and fell in love. I was like, man, this is so cool. I just felt like we were talking about earlier. Sometimes you don't have the logic or the reasons all mapped out. You just had a strong feeling, and I felt really good about everything, and largely because of what Nanataku orchestrates, the vibe in the space, and the passion, the positivity. And I think what happened is that. I just joined and became really interested. So I started asking a lot of questions and offering to help out where I could, because coming from an open source background as well, it's all about contribution. And you may or you may not be able to contribute. It depends on the time and the place, and what your skills are. But I strongly believe for everybody joining a new community, the best thing you can do is kind of be of service and contribute however you can. And at that time, Tag was largely just a Japanese project, and there wasn't too much of an English community, and I kind of saw the gap there, and just wanted to help bridge that, to communicate ideas and all the activity and updates and things that are going on daily in Tag, but just trying to communicate that with the English audience and the English community in Tag. And kind of been doing that as well. There we have a channel where we share. One of the Japanese members, community members, basically takes notes from all the Twitter spaces, and then highlights all those bullet points in the Discord channel. And then I take that and translate in English for all of our community as well. But I think we probably just reached out to each other, and kind of out of excitement, and then just was like, man, I want to help. This is super cool, and just hit it off from there.
Wow, that's actually super amazing how the community like helped each other out, and then it's actually building more and more because I feel like that for Japanese projects in particularly, not that they're actually bad at what should I say, translating into like the English audience. I think that's like one of the problems that some projects had in Japan. But how do you actually were able to like reach out to Tag? Didn't you have any like language problems like before like you found out about Tag?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would definitely like to chime in on that a little bit too, and say that from my experience joining like a lot of Japanese communities and projects, it's not actually exclusive at all. I think it's just kind of hyper focused on um, Japanese, because that's the native language of the founders and the community. But like from my experience, it's been highly inclusive and just very nice and open and friendly community. But actually, people from the tag community recommended to me deepl.com, which is like a translation tool. So I'm not bilingual, or do I speak Japanese, but I'm actually using translation tools. And then I also have friends that are Japanese that are kind of helping me to translate documents and articles and things like that. And then kind of going back and reading it and modifying the words to kind of be more digestible in English. Because if like any language, if you translate it back and forth, like the literal translation of something might sound like very awkward or very weird. So just do my best to kind of help smooth and transition that, so that it's easier to digest a lot of this great information that we have in the space that's largely in Japanese. But shout out to Yoko, who's been helping translate a lot of stuff from CNP and also Ikehaya. I really love her blogs and things like that. She's a great person to follow, that is an interpreter and also shares information in English that most of us, like purely English speaking people, don't have access to.
Wow, thanks for so much info. Anyway, like you and san has said in your interest, I think Yoko-san actually bringing a lot to Tag because translation actually takes a really long time, and then by using a translator, a lot of what should I say, like the language and what we want to deliver to the audience in different like language is very difficult because I worked in like different like countries and different languages. I realized that a lot of languages don't actually have the same meaning in Japanese, English, Korean, and such. So I think Yoko-san is doing a really great work, and same for you as well because translating all that and then all the Twitter space and highlights of Nanataku-san, which actually does 2 Twitter space every day to the community. I think it actually probably bring a lot of power to the Tokyo Alternative Girls community. So I think if anybody actually really has interest in this group, I think people should really give it a try a join because a lot of communications going on in the Tokyo Alternative Girls community in Discord. So I actually I didn't say much, but I actually looked at around the Tokyo Alternative Girls Discord channel. There's a lot of information, and Nanotaku-san is there as well. So if you would like to interact a little bit more with the founder himself, you could go to the Discord and then find a little bit more about the project. And maybe you could get interested on this project as well sometimes, and then interact with Yurin V as well. But he's very insightful.
Absolutely. And that tells you a lot about a project too. If the founder himself, who doesn't even natively speak your language, is communicating in general chat and also translating to answer your questions, to me, I've been in enough projects in this space long enough to know like that says everything to me. But next time, man, don't creep and stalk in the community. Come say hey, and we'll engage a little bit more.
Okay, I definitely will. Anyways, yeah, I haven't seen a lot of projects that a founder himself actually uses translators to talk with the community as well. Next time, I'll definitely drop by and say hi.
Awesome,
Anyway,
man. Yeah, we look forward to that. And yeah, just one note on that too. That's kind of what I want Tag to be as well, is kind of this bridge into Japan. And I know a lot of projects are doing that, like CMP and then also Start JPN, uh, and kind of some other projects out there. But I want to be able to offer that in our community and Tag for even if people don't hold Tag NFTs, but they can be a part of the community and get a lot of this information in English that is super hard to figure out yourself and keep up with new ALs and whitelist like mints and projects and updates and all this stuff. And I'd kind of like for Tag to also be able to provide that value for the space.
okay. That think that's very important because the Twitter, like the NFT ecosystem and the Web3 space, moves very quickly. And hopefully, through this partnership, we could try to offer a little bit more of our service to Tokyo Alternative Girls. And I think this Twitter space could bring a little bit closer to each other as partners.
Absolutely. Really look forward to that and appreciate everything you guys are doing both on and off chain.
Thank you very much. Well, anyways, I think we talked a little bit about that. Could you actually explain a little bit about like what Tokyo Alternative Girls is doing at the moment? Because there's a really lot going on.
Yeah, there's so much going on, and yeah, there's always something new, and I think I'll just kind of go down a list of some things. But one of the unique direct utilities that owning tag NFTs or owning a tag NFT right now is basically getting access to allow lists and whitelist of different projects. And Tag actually has some pretty impressive performance in the past, or let's say experience with collaboration. So currently with other projects right now, I think Tag has worked with close to over 25 other projects with collaborations, and there's a good 5 more that are coming. But for example, by owning Tag NFTs, um, if you join the Discord, and this is really where everything is, I strongly recommend everybody to join the Discord and kind of earn your roles. But use the Wallet Connect, which is just like collab.land for a lot of overseas projects, and verify your ownership of your tag NFTs. And you'll be granted special roles that'll basically give you access to these giveaways. And every collaboration is different. Some of the collaborations could be a guaranteed AL whitelist spot in a project. And a huge one I'd like to share about, kind of the most anticipated project of 2023 right now, I think everybody knows, is Crypto Ninja World. And by owning 5 tag NFTs, guarantees 1 AL for minting the Crypto Ninja World. But yeah, that's pretty. That one's pretty massive, and there's a good 5 more that I'm aware of. And Nanataku is constantly working with new projects, so there's new collaborations constantly coming in and out. And thanks to Yasi, who's in here now, they actually helped me to put together a spreadsheet which kind of shows the just the value performance in ETH, and from these projects and collaborations that owning tag NFTs provided access to, like a token gateway. And this is going to blow some people's minds for sure. It definitely blew mine. But excluding some of the projects that didn't perform so well, but all the positive projects, it's a total of basically 548x of your initial investment if you were to sell. And that's a whole nother concept we get into, talking about gachiho culture and diamond hands. But from their all-time high of the projects that owning tag NFTs granted allow list and whitelist for minting, is actually over 1,000x of the initial investment, which since tag launched in November 5th, and now it's January 31st, that's mind-blowing alone.
Well, that actually is mind blowing how you guys were able to achieve that much profit in just short of like 3 months since January is already gone.
Yeah, and that's really just one aspect of the value offer that Tag has, and this is just the actual data that we gathered last updated yesterday. And obviously it's subjective, because not necessarily saying people would sell or they want to sell, but saying if you minted and sold, these are the numbers. Which this has been shared on Twitter for anyone if you want to check, and you can see all of the collaborations that Tag has had before, and Tag will have in the future. And I put hyperlinks for the projects directly to their OpenSea. And if they're not on OpenSea, like future ones, it'll link to their Twitter. But that's available on Twitter for everybody to see.
Okay. And then let me add a little bit one more thing to that. So far, Yurin Haksha has said that people, even despite like the profit went up, according to our data, uh, 89%, about 90% of the people are still just going on for the long term. So you can tell that like how much like the community wants to be involved and then still want to be, continue to be part of the community, which is amazing.
Yeah, thank you for highlighting that. That is exactly why I love the Nftgo platform. I didn't know this data was available or where I could find it. And to me, this may sound kind of silly, but like literally, this can verify the status of like gachiho or no. Like, is this a diamond hand project or not? And some of the info that I gathered from you all's site, so it just tells simple things as well, like total supply 10,000. It was minted out in 5 hours. The initial mint price was 0.0022 ETH. Um, and the current floor price is about 0.16, something like that, like 75x from the initial investment.
Yep.
And the initial minters and holders was 2,108, and the current holders is 1,831. So basically what that means, from the time of Tokyo Alternative Girls minting, only about roughly 300 people sold. So, yeah, you're looking at like 1,800 people who have not sold, even though it's a 75x from their initial investment. That's impressive.
That really is impressive. That's like just from my side, I can look at the data and then just from the data I can see it, but just hearing it from yours, like the UMB itself, like from you itself, just actually delivers more message and how like the community is has involved, has like evolved so much from then. So I think it could like a lot of people could the community and people who still haven't been involved in tag could expect a lot more from in 2023 because another thing is that so far from the minting that people who have minted about 62% actually is still here, so only like there was only 31% flippers during the mint, and 5 hours minting sold out of minting is very amazing for 5 hours as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And kind of what I found joining here, like it really is just kind of a culture. It's an experience of its own. And I think that's what keeps a lot of us here. And some people, and I'm hoping that a lot of people come in and they just maybe like, oh, here's an NFT project. Oh, interesting. I know Japan is big now, maybe come into flip, but they come in and they gain something and they experience something they haven't in other communities and places, and they want to stay, they want to help build and contribute, or at least see and understand the value that tag has to offer, and not just, oh, here's another NFT project to flip in 1 month's time, or something like that. So I hope that we can do some good storytelling here, and get people excited, because there's definitely a lot of that. And speaking of storytelling, like the aspect of all the tag, the six characters, the main six characters have their own lore and kind of story. And I think in the future we can also kind of expect some manga, or who knows, maybe some anime. With the tag characters, we'll see. We certainly have incredibly talented artists. The original artist and illustrator for the Tokyo Alternative Girls is, I see that she's referred to as Dr. Otahachi, and really impressive background. Apparently, she's won awards from Shueisha, and I probably butchered that name and didn't pronounce it properly in Japanese, but that's the production company of Shonen Jump, famous for Naruto and One Piece. And that, once again, let's once again, impressive to me.
That's actually very interesting. That Shueisha is actually definitely, isn't it like the biggest what should I say, like the comic magazine of Japan? So I guess like the art itself is also like very guaranteed and very like proof that it's very famous. And I'm surprised that actually all the six characters have the lores as well. How who actually designed the lores of those six characters?
That's a good question. I'm probably gonna lean with Nanataku largely, but I'm not entirely sure. And the reason why I would guess that is because a little like fun fact is that for some of the character designs, Nanataku shared like kind of a rough concept of what he had in mind, and also a song. And kind of the energy of that song helped Dr. Odahachi to kind of create the vibe for some of the characters. And there's kind of interesting backgrounds to them, and more information about the story and lore is actually available in the tag Discord. But yeah, there's so many different facets to what all's going on here, and we haven't even really scratched the surface of, I think, what is the key value of tag in in the future, being the NFT passport into the entertainment world, both in real life and Web3.
Okay. So for the NFT passport, would it be like for entertainment? Would it be just like focused on the Japanese entertainment, kind of? Just curious.
Yeah, so kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier. I think that it would definitely start there, and that's where the experience is, that's where the connections are, that's where the inspiration came from. And I don't foresee it being limited to Japanese music or Japanese artists by any means. But I do think it'll largely start out there, just because that's where Nanataku's background is and his connections in the entertainment industry in Japan. Um, but yeah, I'm actually quite excited for that. And what we're actually working on right now is the 3D avatars for Tag, which look phenomenal, by the way. And my kind of personal goals for this are seeing if we can get these avatars maybe as like DCL wearables, something like that, and then actually host events in Decentraland and kind of open it up more to the world overseas and to other countries, and possibly have collaborations with international artists, musicians, and things like that as well.
Okay. That sounds. I see. That's actually one way to reach out to global communities, having events and such. I hope that goes well, and then we could, hopefully we could collaborate, and then we could help you move on with that. So, what do you think, like the expectations of Tag will be in 2023?
Based on the current performance, I think it's going to be absolutely wild. Like all these additional utilities and kind of side benefits that have been recommended by the community and largely kind of come from the Twitter Spaces every day. I'll just share one for example that I think is incredible, because a lot of projects in the space in general, like they're promising utility in the future, we'll have this, blah blah blah, and really for what, a year, 2 years, it's all talk, and there really is no application of that. Easier said than done, right? But even funny enough, like owning Tag NFTs can provide discounts on oysters, pork, and vegetables, like three different shops in Japan, obviously for local Japanese residents. But more information about that for anyone that's interested is on the official website. But even stuff like that, like we mentioned, the collaborations and being able to get access into other largely Japanese projects. It won't be limited to Japanese projects, but access to other Japanese projects and communities, and even real world utilities with food like vegetables, pork, oysters. And something that I kind of look forward to seeing as well is deeper utilities at venues and things like that that Tag has partnered with. So one, for example, is called Beach Shibuya, and this is basically a venue in Japan, and Tag has already partnered with them. And one cool aspect, like utilities for owning the Tag NFTs inside the venue, I think there's about I forget exactly, it might be 4 or 6 cameras. So if you're not there and maybe get a discount to get in and participate in the actual event itself, you can join online and actually view the event through the cameras, like 6 different angles or something to that nature. And that's pretty incredible. Be able to watch live shows by owning this NFT passport, like this ticket to a show, without having to be there. And then, maybe if you are there, there could be a discount for admission fees, or free admission even, and potentially discounts on food and drinks at the bar, at the venue, and stuff like that.
Oh wow, that's actually interesting. So unlike like a lot of projects, they before they mint, they usually say, roadmap. We will promise them this. We build a metaverse. We'll be providing offline goods. But Nanatak, I think like all these collaborations are from Nanatak-san, who actually passionate about the project, right? You keep trying to give back to the community, like offers and like what should like discounts and such. Does Nanatak-san actually handles all those collaborations?
I believe so. I'm sure that there's help, but I honestly don't know how this man does as much as he does with one with being one person and so much time in a day, and then not being burnt out, but like maintaining that passion and excitement and happiness. I don't know if anybody knows how he does it, to be honest.
Then I actually have one question. Like since he's so much passionate, because I can feel his passion. Where did his passion start, and where does it come from? Do you know?
I have no idea actually, but that's a really good question, and I would love to ask him if we did have an interpreter in here that was bilingual. I think that would be a great question to ask him directly.
I guess that would be actually a very good question. I guess I'll try to ask Nanatak-san if he could actually give me information of how he's passionate. Uh, oh, maybe if I could actually ask him as like invited to speak. I wonder if that's possible.
Yeah, go for it. In the meantime, what I'm going to do just to have fun here, I'm going to send him a message on Discord just to see to ask your question, just to see if he can respond to that, if he isn't able to chat.
Okay. I'll try to translate as much as possible. 奈良拓さん、一つの質問があるんですけど、奈良拓さんのNFT プロジェクトを始めたきっかけと、そのレッスンはどこで来るんですか？
ありがとうございます。そうですね。始めたきっかけは自分が CNP のプロジェクトに参加して、自分がプロジェクトをやりたいなと思って、同時進行で始めたっていうのがきっかけですね。で、なんか情熱っていうか、もうルーティンになってるというか、もうプロジェクトを進めることが当たり前に今はなっているし、アイディアはなんか外を走ったりとか、お散歩したり、自分で走ってる時にこうちょっとインスピレーション湧きますね。
Thank you very much. 飛躍させていただきます。
はい。
So, what he has said is about, he actually started, joined a CNP, and that's how he actually got into the NFT ecosystem. And then as he actually participated in this space, it actually became a routine. So what he said is about where he gets his ideas and passion. It's during his daily routines where he just go for a walk or where he exercises. But I think that's what I agree as well, because sometimes for me, I just walk a little bit looking at the scenery and get inspirations. But I think that's very interesting. What do you think, Yurin Bisa?
Absolutely. I think there's kind of we take for granted such simple things in life that are really profound in their nature. And I know Steve Jobs is really famous for that as well, like walking around Silicon Valley and getting ideas and things like that. But I would say that getting those ideas, for me personally, not just walking and kind of getting blood flowing and moving and being able to think more clearly, but most cases when you're walking, you put down your phone, you put down your attachments in the world, and you really just focus on whatever's in front of you or whatever feeling you have. And I think it in some way, I don't know if it taps into like theta brain waves or not, but there's just this kind of like meditative state that you can kind of get in, and it's easier for creativity to express itself, for new ideas to come. And I'm a huge fan and supporter of taking walks, and like if you have like a business talk or whatever, just a creative talk with your production team or something, getting I don't know about like 20 people going to take a walk, you know what I mean, but a few people of the team, the leaders, going to take a walk, or even treadmills next to each other. I know it sounds weird, but even something like that, I do believe in the power of that, so that makes a lot of sense to me.
Okay, I agree. I heard there are some people that actually take walks as like groups of like the teams, like the 20 people. I heard that they do that during lunch. Anyhow, let's see. Let me. Is it possible? Would it be actually okay to ask Nanatak-san about how he does like reach out to like the collaborations and such?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, speak to the man himself. I think it's really cool as well that you're able to help translate that as well for the community. And so this, for a lot of people, may be their first time hearing Nanataku-san speak and kind of be able to connect with the English community via voice. So by all means, man, please.
Thanks a lot. 中崎さん、一つのその質問があるんですけど、そのユリンビーンさんから聞いてると、そのいろんなプロジェクトと協力して、その協力する方が本当に多いと聞きます。どうやってその協力を得て、それを進んでるんですか？
いい質問ですね。ありがとうございます。いや、ぶっちゃけノリと勢いだけなんですよね。なんか、ヤオみたいな、元気みたいな。で、僕が話しかけに行く感じです。なんか。
それいいですね。
いや、みたいな。調子どうみたいな。 What's up? みたいな、そんな感じで、気軽に話しかけに行って仲良くなってますね。うん。
ああ、そうですか。それと
うん。
も、そしてユリン B さんが
うん。
聞いてると、いろん
うん。
なコミュニティメンバーからも協力と、そしていろんな話を
うん。
して
うん。
ると聞いてますけど、それはどうやってしたんですか？どうやって慣れたんですか？どうやってユリン B さんと連絡が取って、そしていろんなヨシさんと連絡して、その協力を得て、なんかコミュニティがどんどん大きくなる感じです。
うん。うん。うん。いや、特にあんまり意識はしたことないけど、まあ、勢いとノリとテンションと、そして楽しさですよね。まあ、みんな参加して楽しいっていうものを作り出してるし、それをなんだろう、楽しいものを作っていると人は楽しいところに集まってくると思うので、まあ、それで自然と、うん。あと CNP のね、後輩たち、CNP の、まあ僕は、まあ、オリジナルのプロジェクトのチームメンバーで、その後、派生プロジェクトがどんどん出てって、そこのプロジェクトの、まあ人たちから、ロリストどうですかとか、そういう感じでどんどんどんどん集まってきて、で、ちゃんとそれを僕が配ってるから、まあ、いろんな人たちから声がかかるっていうのもあるし、それを見た別のプロジェクトも、じゃあ、七拓さん、ぜひ、とかっていう感じに、いい循環が生まれてますね。それは、ベーシックに、ガチホルダーがいっぱいいて、ガチホルダーに多く、僕らのコミュニティはちゃんと渡してるので、その信頼関係っていうのが生まれていますね。
ご返事ありがとうございます。
はい。
なら私が通訳させていた
うん。
だきます。
あれマイクオフ。
Sorry. Thank you very much. Anyways, I have asked Naratak-san about two things about how he actually earns his collaborations and then how he operates and then gets his collaborations with other projects. First, he actually has said that it's about it actually became naturally for him is what he said because he actually reached out to the projects naturally, like very casually. Would you like to collaborate with me? Would you like to collaborate with us? um, Other than that, he actually has said that his foundation comes from the original project CMP, where he actually had a lot of different projects, like the partners. Just like Kohai is actually mean like people who join the community a little bit later, who is like under what should I say, someone that's actually in the same companion, but like joined a little bit later. He has said that later on he actually got more connections in CMP and a lot of deliberative projects. He reached out to them because he had connections from CMP. So that's what he said about he collaborates with them as saying casually, and then he believes that a lot of people finds it very entertaining and very fun belonging in tag, which is why it becomes like a diamond hands is forming in Tokyo Art and Girls community. That's the translation.
Awesome. Thanks so much for asking Nanataku-san and sharing that. That's good to know. And honestly, I believe that 100%. Just his personality alone is very natural and charismatic. Even I don't speak Japanese, but hearing him on the Twitter Spaces, I feel like, and in general in life, like a lot of good things come naturally, not forced, not trying too hard, but just putting yourself out there in the right light, and it being received and reciprocated.
Actually, anyway, one more to add is that while I was communicating with Narutak-san, it actually felt like talking a bit with Yurin B-san as well because it's like as you said, like you were attracted to the Fox mask naturally, and then Narutak-san does like collaborations and what he loves and is passionate about his Twitter space naturally. So I thought you guys have like are on the same rhythm as I feel. What do you think? Would that be correct?
Man, to be honest, there's no way I could compare myself to Nanataku-san. So, and funny enough, I'll just share honestly for me, I get where you're coming from, and I appreciate that. But uh, I feel that being in this space for 5 years and just working on numerous projects and giving my complete heart and soul, that I've experienced a lot of burnout, and that passion has kind of deteriorated at times. Like, and it can even be in the form of health and finding that right balance of what you're doing and having that purpose and staying committed towards that. I think that's what attracted me to TAG and Nanataku-san. But where I'm at now in life, I feel like everything I should do is slower. Like take a deep breath and do things slowly and not just hurry up and rush into everything and then give, before I was kind of working, believe it or not, 16 to 24-hour days in this space. And as you know, like in this space, you said before, it moves super fast and you kind of don't want to sleep sometimes because it's so exciting and the thrill of it in the beginning, and you're just doing what you love and you're surrounded by people who share the same ideals and everything like that. But you really have to, as a lot of people like to say in the space, touch grass, or in this conversation we'll say take a walk, and just find that right balance in life. And that's kind of where I'm at right now, and why I'm open to the idea of contributing more to the TAG ecosystem as well.
I totally agree with you there about taking it slow. So as background, a little bit info about myself. I'm from the Asian background. So it's a little bit like in Asian background, a lot of things are very fast, has to be done very rapidly, and everything has to be done like right now or a little bit like as soon as possible. So I think sometimes during this life, it's important to take steady, because sometimes working so fast could actually tire you out and then maybe have a burnout. But I kind of want to ask if Manataka-san, as project leader, doesn't have a burnout. What do you think? Do you think he actually has ever reached a burnout yet?
I don't think so, no. And I think because he stays pretty balanced, and also because the project's new. We're looking at 3 months in, but I've kind of shared my concerns from the beginning of just being able to help build the right team and support, so everything isn't just falling on him. Because at a certain point, if you do too much yourself, like just one human being can't handle everything, period, no matter how amazing and incredible you are. And time itself can beat people down. I'm not saying it will, not with everyone, but it can beat people down. So surrounding yourself by the right people who share the same visions and ideals and goals, and being able to also delegate tasks to the right people in the right place. And honestly, the tag community, especially Japanese community, specifically from what I've seen, how everybody coordinates and works together is just really impressive and inspiring. And there's just so much support in the community, from to the project itself, and even on like personal levels, and to different projects and people in the space as well. So and I do know that he goes to the gym, because I shared that with him one day. I was like, all right, man, I've been on the computer enough today. I got to go to the gym and get some, breathe some fresh air, and get some healthy physical activity in, and not just be sitting on the computer too long. And he was like, "Oh, good idea. I should do the same."
Oh, so he actually got some of the inspirations, because he actually got to go to the gym thanks to you. If it weren't for you, I guess he wouldn't have gone to the gym.
We got to be good reminders to each other to do good things, man. And you can't grind yourself too hard, and keep, just like you said, like I wouldn't even personally say it's just an Asian mentality. I think it's just people who are very focused on something, and they want something very bad, that they're willing to just keep working harder and harder and harder. But like I said, taking the breaks, taking deep breaths, and all that's important, and finding the balance in life. And the balance in life, even spending time with family and loved ones, and not getting too sucked into the matrix here, and being completely addicted to blockchain, NFTs, and crypto. Like, definitely find the balance. But yeah, I think that's what we're here for, right? To support each other and kind of remind each other to stay in balance and to stay aligned.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely, I agree with you 100%. Definitely gotta take a little break from NFT. It never stops. So once you get into it, so everybody, please take breaks, because this space is always 24 hours. It actually tires you out. um, I wonder, anyhow, there actually has been one question from the DM. Somebody actually have said, is there like any plans of like global movement for the tag team? Is there anything planned?
So good question. I'm not sure in to what degree you're asking, more so of the complete ecosystem, or specifically with like music partnerships or collaborations with other projects or different metaverses.
I think this would be about like the project ecosystem in general.
Yeah, so definitely at this point, I think really in the beginning, Tag started as a Japanese project and blew up and got a lot of attention. And now there's a lot of great people joining the project from different countries. And now we're kind of realizing the value of Tag. And I think there's going to be a lot more now that the bridges are being built. I think there's going to be a lot more potential tag team opportunities for us to work with different projects, different artists, and that's something that I'm looking forward to. And for me personally, once again, I shared this earlier, but I really think being able to have like the 3D avatars and in some kind of popular Japanese metaverse environments, but for me especially like Decentraland, that would be really cool if we could have these 3D avatars and have festivals or have events there working with some great event coordinators there like Polygonal Mind studios and or other people in Decentraland, and really be able to make it what Web3 already is, which is international. And I think Tag is headed in that direction, absolutely. And the more information that we can provide for people, especially just being able to translate it. And thanks to you guys for hosting this AMA and being able to share this in English. It's only going to grow. And I do know that the Tag has no intention to just stay in Japan by any means. It's just a great foundation and starting point.
Thank you for the great answers. Uh, one more question from actually from my side. Yunvi, since you're an artist, would you be actually joining in like one of those like the art in the 3D profiles?
What do you mean by that? The art in the 3D profiles?
Like did it just it wasn't like Tag is preparing like the 3D version right now?
Oh, right, the 3D avatars. Man, I wish I could say my 3D abilities were that good, but they're not. I spent a lot more time in a lower dimension, the 2D world, but I absolutely love 3D modeling and animation as well. And I'm not even 100% sure who has been doing the Tag 3D models, but they are absolutely incredible. And some of them have been shared on Twitter for some people to see, and they're in the production room in the Tag Discord. And yeah, exciting and incredible, immaculate detail put into this. That I don't know if it's the right term, cell shading or the certain stylization that they use, but kind of making an anime, you know, character or manga style character that's in 2D look 3D, but not lose its essence. I think is very difficult to do. And if I was to trust any project, or let's say country around the world to do that right, of course it would be Japan.
Okay, that's very interesting. Cell shading is actually I think it's like really, really good for 3D art avatar. I really hope like to see how it turns out. Hopefully, it turns really well. Um, one more thing, I think it's about since this Twitter space is about an hour. Is there anything to that you want to say to the community that's joined in the Twitter space? So what they can expect tag on moving on forward in 2023.
Yeah, just some quick points, and I appreciate that too. Just once again, kind of a reminder here that Tag serves as an NFT passport into the world of entertainment, both in the real world and in the metaverse. And for the highly anticipated project of 2023, Crypto Ninja World, owning 5 Tag NFTs will guarantee you one AL whitelist mint for the CNW. And one really cool thing that I didn't get to mention earlier that the community is super super psyched about is that we're working on NFT collaborations with famous voice actors that'll be announced next month, mid-February, and the names are Kimetsu no Yaiba and Bakemonogatari. And I'm not sure if I pronounced that properly, but two very very famous voice actors that we're already collaborating with, and there will be a lot more to come from what I hear. And the biggest thing I can say to everyone listening here, if you're not in the Discord, definitely join the Discord, because this is where all the fun and the goodies happen. But also start earning your roles in the Discord, and there's so many different roles and ways to do that. And mentioning earlier, Tag has an incredible to me an incredible Discord that I've never seen so many roles utilized, and some of them are silly, just funny roles that don't actually have utility, but a majority of them do. And earning these roles kind of give you lottery multipliers for the contests and collaboration giveaways that we do with other NFT projects. So basically, owning different roles, they kind of stack and increase your odds of winning ALWL opportunities for projects that Tag collaborates with.
Oh, that's actually a lot of utility. So I guess gotta join the Discord for all those to get into the tag community. Thanks for sharing with that. Let's see. Is it possible to have a word from Nasan-tak-san about this to the community? I think.
Please, man, please.
ナナタクさん、そのツイートスペースがもう終わるので、その前に、このツイートスペースに参加した皆さんに、なんか伝える言葉とかありますか？
はい、ありがとうございます。ですね、今日は英語ということで、本当にね、なかなか、わかりにくいところもあったとは思うんですけど、ぜひ参加していただいた方々、皆様、誠にありがとうございます。いや、本当聞いてもらって、本当ありがとうございます。一人一人にお礼とかね、本当言おうかななんて思ってたんですけども、ちょっともう終わるということで、本当今日は、割愛させていただいて、本当皆さんね、申し訳ございません。ちょっとあれですけども。という感じかなっていうところで、どうでしょうか？なんか、Nftgo さん的には。
完璧だったと思います。
そうですか。よかった。
はいはい。
完璧だった。ユーリンピンさんもすごい、完璧だったよ。じゃあ、よかった。
時あったんですか？そのツイートスペースで。ツイートスペースで、ユーリンピンさんと話し合った頃が、機会あったんですか？この前に。
そうですね。テキストチャットでちゃんとこれを話そうみたいな台本とかもある程度、コミュニケーション取って作らせていただいて、Nftgo さんの質問も来て、で、こんな感じでいきましょうみたいな、本当にタッグチームを組んでね、できた英名なんで、今後もね、なんかこういう機会をね、またね、定期的に作っていきたいななんて思っています。
私たちもそうやってそういう感じでお願いします。
そうですか。
はいはい。今日ツイートスペースありがとうございます。たくさん。
はい、ありがとうございます。いや、本当来ていただいた方、本当ありがとうございます。なんかもう名前はね、お忘れしません。来て、1時間もこうね、英語でずっと聞いてくれた方々、本当に嬉しいです。なんか、これがコミュニティのなんか温かさなのかなっていうのをね、なんかすごい今日は実感した気がします。なんかこれはね、僕ら、日本だけじゃなくて海外にも行きたいねっていうのをみんないつも言ってて、で、自分たちのプロジェクトのいいところをどうやったらもっと広められるかなっていうのをこうずっと、ユニンビン様はじめ、うちのタグの、ディスコードコミュニティの皆さんも言ってくれてて、それが一つね、ちょっと今日は形にできたのかなと。これをキーネンとね、日本のみならず海外にも、どんどん情報を届けていきたいなと思っています。っていう感じです。よろしくお願いします。
はい、わかりました。かしこまりました。お伝えします。So, okay. Nanatak-san actually has said, thank you for everybody for joining this Twitter space. And then I'm sure it was very rough because the Twitter space was in English for 1 hour. He wants to actually say, thank everybody, the individual names, just like in his Twitter space. But since it's ending, he says it's very regretful. And one more to add that is that he said that he was able to feel the love and the support from the Discord community because he was able to see a lot of Discord members in this Twitter space. So he's also thankful for that as well. And another thing is that he wants to actually keep moving forward to a lot of different stuffs, a lot of different the value of Tokyo Alternative Girls. For me personally, thank you very much for the Twitter space. I hope that this was it was very enjoyable, and thank you for your san as well. You're a very amazing guest. You were able to share a lot of insights very accurately. I think a lot of people were able to understand what Tokyo Alternative Girls do and then what the project stands for.
Awesome, Brian. Thank you so much. Really appreciate everything you guys are doing at Nftgo, and especially the new partnership here with Tag and providing this space for the AMA. And also, I think it's super cool. You're bilingual. You speak Japanese, and asked Nanataku-san himself, a lot of these questions that unfortunately I wouldn't be able to do. And really appreciate everything that you guys are doing. And special thanks to everybody that joined this call. And the reason why I'm kind of stuttered there for a second is because I think a lot of the English community is not quite awake yet. So in the US right now, it would probably be roughly like 7 a.m., 5 a.m. But as Nanataku-san shared and you shared here, there's so much love and support from even the Japanese community if they don't understand everything here, but they're willing to be here and support. And I absolutely love that. But I'm super happy to be able to have this space recorded and share it with the English speaking audience at any given moment, 24/7, but especially when they wake up. And I just wanted to say thank you to Brian, thank you Nanataku-san, and everybody here in the community. Arigatou gozaimasu.
Thank you everybody for joining this space. ありがとうございます。今日、ツイートスペースを参加して本当にありがとうございました。Hello, and then the Twitter space is ending. Everybody have a good night or have a good morning. Are we ending?